Hey folks, Kiltman here, Kiltman at your Christmas Day services. How are you all? We're all doing very, very well. Are you all full of plumptiousness and merriment? We're not quite there yet, because although the meat is cooked, we still got to put the veg on and do all that kind of messing around. So there's all sorts of disarray and all over there behind me, but lovely smells permeating everywhere. Now, I'm still not very well, as viewers of recent videos will know. But anyway, we have some festive firewater to keep me going. Cheers you all. Your good health. Your prosperous futures. And the dog is out right now because I say I'm too ill to take the dog out. But she's come thundering back. There's some roast beef in her bowl right now. She's had some turkey already. She tested the turkey and it's fine. But speaking of poultry, what did I do last night? Whilst furiously unwell, coughing and spluttering, after watching The Snowman and The Snowman and the Snow Dog and doing the watch party for that, which hopefully you've seen, to witness the Kiltman, the mighty Kiltman, blubbering like a little baby fool. I'm a big softy at heart. I then watched a couple of movies, one of which was not the thing I intended to watch to report upon to you guys. Of course, Die Hard. It's coming, don't worry. The Die Hard opening trilogy. We don't talk about what came next. Will be coming. That's going to happen. I just wasn't in a fit state to do it. But I watched a couple of movies, and one of them was into the wee small hours, went past the witching hour, and I was doing wrapping the prezzies. And normally I watch vintage horror movies on Christmas Eve into the wee small hours of Christmas Day, and I love it. Sometimes it's like old Basil Rathbone and Nigel Bruce, Sherlock Holmes, Universal stories, but it tends to be like the Wolfman, Frankenstein meets the Wolfman, Dracula, the Mummy, whatever. Just cozy, quaint, black and white stuff. No, I didn't do that last night. No. I put on Suspiria, a 4K, hugely blistering tour de force of Art Deco slaughter and audio-visual bloodbath. And I didn't put the sound down because I'm so bunged up I could barely hear it anyway. So I hope the neighbourhood enjoyed that. But Suspiria was on at full blast till about 2 o'clock this morning. Hey ho, festive. You couldn't get much more removed from Santa than the story of occult witchcraft at a dance academy in Freiburg, Germany, under the auspices and direction of Dario Argento. Much bloodletting and blood-curdling nightmarish scenarios play out. And it was great. But before that, I watched Chicken Run, Dawn of the Nugget. Yeah, it's on Netflix, folks. It's on Netflix. This will not be a big review. It'll just be kind of snapshot sort of thing. But you know how I tend to go on anyway. I love Chicken Run from 2000. Mel Gibson as Rocky, the Rhode Island Rooster, circus rooster, thinks he's a superhero. And he will save the day, to a degree, alongside the chicken love of his life, Ginger, who was voiced, of course, by, what's her name? Julia Sawalha. And it was a great movie. Nick Park, Peter Lord, Arbor Animation, and was it DreamWorks? I can't remember now. But my God, it was animated with CG embellishments. Chicken take on The Great Escape. They've got to get away from the farm, Mrs. Tweedy's farm, that bitch, Mrs. Tweedy. A real, proper big school villain. Chickens go in, pies come out. Fantastic. And the riffs, the jokes, the quips, the characters were wonderful. And it took, another 16 years before someone actually said, hang on, I think we should do a sequel to this. And at a party, apparently, I think it was Peter Lord approached the director of this movie, the sequel, Dawn of the Nugget, Sam Fell. Did he? I don't know, but it's a curious name, isn't it? Sam Fell. And, but it took them from then till sort of now. But you know how long it takes to do an animated stop motion animation movie. Although I've got to say, watching this one last night, and I had I had been out, despite my illness, I had actually been out and drunk a fair bit of whiskey. Quelle surprise. And the way I remember it, I was saying, because the family members were watching it as well, I said, this is more CG than stop motion animation. This has gone way beyond what the first one was. And I still stand by that. It looks more CG than any stop motion sort of usual sort of trickery. But these things still take a long time to do. So I'm not sure when they started it, but anyway, it came out, I think, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago in December 2023. And yeah, it's a new director. I think they're new writers as well. And a lot of the voice cast has been jettisoned from the first one. You've brought in new people, but you've replaced some of the older people. Mel Gibson is no longer there as Rocky the Rhode Island Rooster. He's now voiced by Zachary Levi, or Levy, I don't know. Wasn't he Shazam or something? I care not. He has absolutely zero of the voice gravitas of heavy drinking and how many cigarettes a day Mel Gibson puts away. I don't care what he says about being, oh, I'm on the wagon now. He's been on the wagon so many times, but he's fallen off it just as many times as well. So, no, that gruff Mel Gibson voice. And even though he's playing a rooster, you had that charisma of Mel Gibson really enjoying himself. He was not approached to reprise the role. Oh no. And nor was Julia Sawalha playing Ginger, because she's too old now. They deemed her voice too old for the character. But at the end of the first movie, you've got Ginger and Rocky get together and they escape. They have the great escape and off they go. They fly the coop, quite literally, and they land on a little idyllic island in the middle of what's meant to be rural England. Although it looks very, very much, even though it's animated, it looks very much like the Shire for some reason. It looks anything but English. And they find that little ideal there, ideal. The rats who helped them out first time round, who have been revoiced again, they still help them out. And the chicken community thrive away from the world of man and mass-produced chicken produce. So they're happy. And they've got a little girl now, a chick, called Molly, who's a new character played by Bella Ramsey, of course, from Game of Thrones and The Last of Us. And although I did not know that at the time, but my son, he said, that's Bella Ramsey. And I went, I didn't realise. But this Zachary Levi has absolutely Zachary zero charisma. There's nothing in that voice that gives any kind of gravitas, power, or even remote interest in him as a character. And it reflects upon the animated character as well. You bring in a voice cast, it's got to be the vocal personification of that character you're creating, whether it's hand-drawn, CG, cell animation, stop-motion animation, whatever, or a friggin' puppet. It's got to reflect that character. And Rocky was a major character. And he's a nothing in this because of the lack of vocal talent. To be fair, Ginger's alright. Who's voicing her now? I would say is it Tandy or is it Thandie Newton? Thandie Newton from Westworld and Crash and Mission Impossible 2 as well. And again, because you know the previous voices, there's a sort of a disconnect going on. But she's not bad. She's not bad at all. So, anyway, what's the plot then, Kiltman? What's the plot? What is the plot? What happens in this one? In the first one, they're trying to escape from Mrs. Tweedy's. In this one, they're going to have to break in to Mrs. Tweedy, who has survived all the catastrophes and the revenge that they had upon her at the end of Chicken Run the first. And Chicken Run the second, she's back! And she's out for revenge now because she's got a new establishment and it's all super high-tech. Surveillance, traps, guards. It's an impregnable chicken-producing fortress where they make nuggets, chicken nuggets. And she's got to deal with Sir Eat-A-Lot's chain of restaurants. Sir Eat-A-Lot. I think he's Oh, is it Peter? Oh, what's his name? He's got a really unpronounceable surname. Serafinich. Well, doesn't matter. Peter, let's call him Peter. So he wants to make a big deal with him and his chain of restaurants to sell these nuggets. Because I'm not sure if there's a tagline to this one. The first one, it was like, chickens go in, pies come out. I'm not sure what it is for this. There probably is one. It'd be wrong of them not to have done that. But I can't for the life of me remember what the tagline might be. But what they've done, they have this fantastic sort of facility where they get the chickens and they put collars on the chickens. And when activated, what it does, it puts the chickens into a stupid state. Are they ever in a really highly educated state? So they wander around what looks like a beautiful fairy tale amusement park with fun rides, little lakes. They can go jolly boating and all that, go down water slides, have fun, parachute. I don't know, they can do all sorts of things. And it looks like a beautiful, idyllic sort of world that they're in. Only it's all fake. And then once, it gets activated, and they all turn like zombies and they march off to be made into nuggets. Yeah. Mrs. Tweedy, a bitch. And she's got a sidekick, Dr. Fry, who is voiced by Nick Mohammed. Yeah, I don't know him either. And he's a little evil scrote. So you've got all this. But why have Ginger and Rocky got to get involved? They're on their little island. But Molly, their daughter, their chick daughter, who's now getting a bit older and wants to sort of spread her wings and see the world. Sorry, I'm still not well, folks. She spied all these trucks on the mainland. What are those trucks doing? Where are they going? And I think her mum and dad suspect, that can't be good. Stay here, keep quiet, build up. Or they have a camouflage thing, but they'll put all hedges and stuff, and the little island, no one's going to spot that. But anyway, no one does. And they could just keep quiet and everything would be great. Oh no. Oh, I was hoping this wasn't going to happen. But oh, this is a bad day. Bad day at Black Rock. Let's hope that softens it a little bit. I know honey would be better, but it ain't whiskey though, is it? But Molly goes out there to investigate, and she will meet another. She gets saved by. Did she get kidnapped or does she get almost hit by a truck? I can't remember now. But we'll meet a new character. Well, Molly's a new character for one thing. But we meet a Scouser. I said Scouser with a Cockney accent then. But we meet a Scouse chicken called Frizzell. Is it Frizzell? Something like that. Frizzle, yeah, played by Josie Sedgwick Davis, who I do not know. And but she's pure Scouse, and that was quite amusing to have that. But the two of these will end up in Tweedy's new facility. So Ginger, Rocky, and co, including the Rats and Fowler, who's the ex-RAF mascot chicken, will have to mount a rescue. Now, some of these people are still the same old voice cast. Jane Horrocks as Babs, the dickhead, dim-witted one. Lynn Ferguson as Mac, the Scottish one. And who else is there? Oh, Imelda Staunton as Bunty. They're going to have to navigate a minefield of traps to get into this place and effect a rescue. Hope you understand how much pressure I'm putting on myself here for this. It's not gone. God almighty. Thanks, Santa. I didn't ask for much, but you gave me bubonic plague. Cheers for that. Cheers. Happy ride back to the North Pole, mate. So cue lots of scrapes and skirmishes, half escapes, set pieces. and a final confrontation with Mrs. Tweedy, and the comeuppance that everyone expects that she's going to get. Is she finally dead this time? Who knows? Now, I did enjoy this, do not get me wrong, but it is a very, very pale imitation of Chicken Run. A lot of the jokes don't land, a lot of the visuals are nowhere near as effective, I didn't think. Look, they look way too smooth, way too glossy, way too CG for me. It's still got the big googly eyes and those big lips, the beaks. Apparently it takes a long time to make every syllable match the beak manoeuvre. Why make work for yourselves, you know what I mean? Just have them clucking like chickens normally do, and then subtitle it, would have been a lot easier. But it is good fun. I did have a good time with it, but I knew all along this was not really hitting the high spot. Chicken Run was a great success. Families loved it, kids loved it, adults loved it, because there was something for everyone there. Great score as well by Harry Gregson Williams and John Powell. You're hearing the score to Dawn of the Nugget, which is just Harry Gregson Williams on this one. And I like his stuff. He's a Hans Zimmer minion. But, you know, I've spent so many years denouncing Hans Zimmer, and then so many more years actually praising what he does. And the fact that he sort of brainwashes a bunch of composers and with his old studio and company, Remote Control, and has them, he just gets them in, trains them in the Zimmer sound, and then sends them out to do other movies, but they're all producing the Zimmer sound. And it's not like Zimmer doesn't work his arse off anyway. He's doing about 10 movies a year, 10 scores, if not more. So his power is all encompassing. And so the score is actually pretty good. I do enjoy it. I'm not playing the Paloma Faith track because that will get me blocked. So let's not go down that road. But it's a good score. It's exciting. Lots of riffs and lots of action and lots of it's cheery stuff and fun. And the film has that in abundance. Now, what I found very interesting to do whilst watching it was spot the reference. Oh, they're doing this. Because all these animated movies do that. They all play little riffs on, you know, the big movies. It's got an action set piece. You know, it's Raiders, it's Mission Impossible, it's James Bond, all of which are riffed on in this movie. But I wrote a little list, did I not? Of all the references I found. Obviously, you had Bond. Right, you got a big base there, and you got like, you know, a really nasty villain who's out for revenge, almost a Blofeld style character, and she's got little henchmen and stuff like working for her, and this high tech guru bastard like. Did I mention Dr. Fry? Yeah, that's right, I mentioned him. You've got Die Hard. You see how Die Hard crept back in, and like teasing me really, I suppose. Because you've got stuff happening in elevator shafts, and they're moving around ductwork and, you know, air shafts and that. So a bit of Aliens there, I suppose, as well. You've got the Running Man, because you've got these collars on all the chickens, and like activated. They've got to, you know, they've got to sort of do as they're controlled, as they're ordered. Which also, because when that siren goes off, when they're activated, I should say, to head in to be turned into nuggets. It's very like the Eloi being controlled by the air raid siren of the Morlocks in the Time Machine. So that's very clearly there, where they all stop and like you will see some get deactivated and kind of, my God, what's happening? Because suddenly the world that they're being blinkered to, they realise, and that beautiful idyllic sort of landscape, it's just an enclosed sort of arena. That's all it is. And the blue sky, this beautiful blue sky, it's a big curtain, like a matte curtain in the old movies. You can peel it up and it's just like a shutter behind it. They're enclosed, imprisoned. But like the Eloi, the passive, dickhead, dim-witted Eloi, they just off they go, marching off to their deaths. So in a way, there's a Logan's Run aspect to that as well, with Carousel going off to their deaths. But I had fun doing this. There's Clockwork Orange is riffed on a little bit. Conquest of the Planet of the Apes, because of Ginger will be strapped to a table to be sort of experimented upon, and then potentially go into like nuggets and have to be rescued. I mean, that's 1,000,001 movies strapped to a table. It's Bond as well. Like, no, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die. Mission Impossible, obviously. Star Wars, there's lots of, they're trapped in like huge sort of steel areas, which I kept saying, this is a Star Wars trash compactor. But it could also have been the scene from Witness, with the grain silo. But it's also Toy Story. And there's lots of Toy Story elements and riffs in this movie. These aren't, I'm not knocking the film for this, by the way. This is just fun to look out for. There's Deep Blue Sea. Again, you're in huge sort of like cylindrical steel chambers with danger below and danger above. But you've actually got a moment where they think they're going to be okay. And I'm sure it's Rocky. Rocky bursts open the door like LL Cool J in Deep Blue Sea. And just when they think they're going to die, he saves the day. Only dickhead Rocky jumps down and they realise, shit, that was a door out of here, wasn't it? And we're down here. And he's like, ugh. Now you can imagine Mel Gibson would really make that role sort of work. No stranger to animated voices. He was John Smith, you know, that colonial dimwit, a colonial nonce from Pocahontas for Disney. You've got Quatermass 2, the old vintage Quatermass 2, Val Guest and Brian Donlevy playing Quatermass for Hammer Films. And because you've got like this whole thing of drones, of people who are like just controlled, and this huge sort of artificial, almost alien facility that's been set up there. It's all very Quatermass 2. And I like that. That's a nice little riff there. Raiders, Toy Story, yeah. Big Trouble in Little China. Yeah, believe it or not, Big Trouble in Little China. You've got a scene of, is it Ginger? Oh, I'm not sure which one it is now. Who has to go along a pipe like that, which is exactly like Jack Burton has to do in Lopan's Domain in John Carpenter's exuberant and fantastic Big Trouble in Little China. Little side note, it's not Kurt Russell doing that manoeuvre. It's his regular stuntman and body double, Dick Warlock, who played Michael Myers, the Shape in Halloween 2. And is in many John Carpenter movies and many other movies. Wonderful, wonderful guy. Great stuntman. Great little supporting extra. Can't really say actor, just little extra. But he does a lot of great work. But that reminded me of that. Soylent Green, did I mention that already? John Aston and people being indoctrinated into euthanasia and being their dead bodies then being recycled into Soylent Green, which is a new food source for the masses, because in this future world of overpopulations, there's not enough food to go around. So they start, well, and it's not a bad idea. The dead, let's eat. So we will become cannibals. Let's eat our own dead. Let's make it into like this sort of, you know, this Soylent, this soya. Well, that's the gimmick. It's just like a soya produce. It's dead people. Soylent Green is people, says John Aston. Soylent Green is people. Anyway, but they do coerce people into, like, you know, giving up their lives. Which again is like Logan's Run, the same sort of thing. So this film has a great pedigree of things that it's sort of cherry picked from. The Shining. Mrs. Tweedy goes on the rampage with a big axe. And there's some good stuff there actually. There's some good little set pieces and visuals. And there's even a bit where the axe gets thrown and she's got like a bit of a hair's in a big sort of top knot bouffant thing. And the axe flies through and shaves off the top of her hair. Very similar to King Leonidas, Gerard Butler in 300, where the big berserker, immortal, lashes the axe and like he goes, whoa, and it just shaves the top of the horse's main crest of his helmet. I've got that helmet, by the way, folks. If you check back about 2 years ago, I did a big video on that helmet and I've got it as well. Wonderful bit of kit. So that's referenced. There's another reference to 300, but we'll come on to that. 2001: A Space Odyssey. The big remote control that Mrs. Tweedy and Dr. Fry need to get chickens into nuggets, turn that machine on, and activate all this stuff. It's HAL. It's HAL from 2001. The renegade computer that goes kind of like, look, I don't need humans. I can exist myself. It's that. It's HAL's glowing red eye. That's what it is. That's the remote control. So it's 2001 as well. Oh, the mummy is there because at some point Mrs. Tweedy will get covered in breadcrumbs, as every nugget should be, I suppose. I mean, you might like batter, but breadcrumbs are better. She gets covered in breadcrumbs and becomes like, it's almost like, it's a bit of like Stephen Sommers' Mummy, but it's a reference to a grizzled old mummified body coming back to life and shambling around, but with mad blazing eyes. That's her. So you get that, and there is a final shot. I'm not giving everything away here, folks, but it's a final shot, a final freeze frame of a charge of chickens coming to the rescue. It is an exact replica of the final charge from 300, the final charge from Braveheart, and any number of charges from the Lord of the Rings trilogy. And it was welcome as well. You knew exactly what they were doing, and because they all got weapons, and there's a big freeze frame, and they're all like, ah. They're chickens, for fuck's sake. We got these rats. Another name I can never pronounce. Romish Magpie. No, Raggy Omar. No, I don't know what his name is. Comedian with a weird eye. He's one of the rats. Again, the two rats have been revoiced. You've got Peter. See, there's two guys whose names you can't fucking pronounce playing rats. Wisecracking wats. Wisecracking rats. I'm not well, folks. Struggling here today. I'm bloody hungry as well. And I can smell that. You can't smell it, but I can. All we gotta do is wait for the dog to get back and then put the veg on and then we're away. Job done. And I've done parsnips. I'm the only one here that's going to eat the parsnips, but roasted them. Oh yeah. Drizzled with oil. Oh my God. A little bit of herby on them. Gonna be, even though I've got no taste at the moment because my body's racked with poison and toxins. So, anyway, how does this film fare up against Chicken Run, the classic great first movie? Well, it's a poultry affair compared to the first one. You can quote me on that. But it's good fun. It's disposable fun. It is not memorable, as you've just seen. I saw it last night. I've forgotten half of it already. But it doesn't hit the mark anywhere near as much. And there's not as much going on. It's a very basic plot. There's a lot. The first one had the idea, look, it's a great concept. You've got chickens who can talk and plot and scheme. And they want to escape. But the riff on The Great Escape is it's heartwarming. It's genuinely amusing. It's very inventive, and it really, really works, and it carries you along. It buoys the story with great characters and lots of incidents and real nasty, nefarious villainy. This one tries to do the same thing, but reverse it. Well, we've got to break in to get our daughter out and her little scouse friend, and free all the other chickens as well. As an afterthought. And oh my God, it's you're back. But it's also Mrs. Tweedy like, you. See, I'm laughing at it now, but that's it. That's pretty much it. There's not a lot more to this. It doesn't add a great deal. It just reverses the scenario, but with a lot of the same characters, although sadly revoiced, and not to any great effect. You got the likes of heavyweights like Mel Gibson in there to begin with, and enough said. His voice speaks volumes. But Zachary Levi, fucking, no, you were massively ineffectual, and it does bleed into the actual animated character as well, because whatever he says has zero impact. You don't care, and it's a chicken, Killman. It's a fucking chicken. Why should you care? Unless you're eating it, why should you care about it? By the way, there's I don't know if you noticed here, in an array of eggs. We have eggs. We have the original Ginger figure from the first movie. There's Ginger with her little drill thing, which actually works, believe it or not. I'm not going to do it because it'll probably break, knowing my luck. And there's Rocky with his sighting mechanism and his backpack on. Look, there's Rocky, the Roadhouse Rooster. Fantastic stuff. I don't know, there's a rat, and there's actually Remy from Ratatouille there as well. And there's Scooby-Doo. What else have we got? Oh, we've got a zombie from Plague of the Zombies. A Hammer film, which this one doesn't reference, incidentally. Unless you count the zombies who are just, under the voodoo spell. And of course, when their collars get ignited, they go, and off they go. And we've got a Terminator. I don't know why that's there. I have no idea. But do I recommend it? Yeah, of course I do. It's a bit of disposable, colourful fun. Are you going to buy it on UHD? It's Netflix. Are you going to get it on disc? I always forget which companies are not doing stuff on physical media anymore. And I've got a feeling that they don't do it, do they? Oh, here's the dog. Oh well. She's come padding back in and found the beef in her bowl. And is now choking on it. I don't know if you're going to get a physical media. You probably will. Let's Prey. Predator, Prey. A film I massively love and endorse. And looks amazing in 4K. Looked amazing just in blue. Looked amazing just streaming in HD. It looked fucking fantastic. And I do love that movie. That came out, and everyone was saying, oh, it was on Hulu. It's never going to come out on physical media. Well, it finally did. It took a while. It took over a year, but it finally came out. So I think family stuff like this, kids also like to have a bit of, physical media to hold, to put into their little machine, and feel like they're in control. But am I wrong? Am I wrong about that? My kids both love, they're both, one's 22, one's 16, and they love physical media. Oh, hello. It's Christmas. She got a lot of squeaky toys, of course. Santa cursed me with one of the most hideous bugs the world has ever known. And he gave her loads of toys and treats. So, But that's the way the cookie crumbles. That's the way the breadcrumb falls. So I don't know if it's going to come out on disc. I would say it will do at some point. But I don't think you're going to be too arsed either way. Stream it now on Netflix, watch it, and then forget about it. There you go. But folks, I thought I'd just throw a quick sort of review out while it was still fresh in my mind, or somewhat fresh in my mind. And but Chicken Run, the first one, I massively endorse that. That is genius. It's such good fun. And I think you do miss Nick Park being, because Nick Park, I think, co-directed the first one with Peter Lord. But Nick Park, I think, just produces this one. I could be wrong about that, but he definitely is not directing it. And with a change of vocal cast, I think they are. It's a considerably lesser article than the first one, but you kind of expect that anyway, don't you? And Christmas Eve, it was just a great fun watch. So anyway, there you go. Watch it and then get back to me with any more references that you saw. And you might think Clockwork Orange was a bit tenuous there, Killman. What exact bit was that? Well, watch the film, because I'm going, Clockwork Orange. All right. It wasn't that controversial a decision, was it? Bringing Clockwork Orange in. I think it was something to do with desensitization to violence and the whole sort of like, they're brainwashed. It's probably that. But the rest, they all stand, definitely. Definitely. Soylent Green is people. Oh. Chicken nuggets really aren't chicken, are they? Let's be honest. They're just swept up, aren't they, off the floor? It couldn't go that far, could it? It had to be. They are fresh chickens that have had an idyllic lifestyle as well. Again, it's kind of like it's playing on, these are free-range chickens that you're eating. So they've had a great life until we did what we do to them and cooked them up and preserved them, then served them to you. I also wrote down COVID testers and chef, but I have no idea why I did that. So again, if you can watch the film and pick up on the reference of COVID testers and chef, I don't know, did he have, I can't remember now, did he have people who were testing the nuggets? I really don't know. And no, I'm making stuff up here now. I've got no idea why I wrote that. But I wrote it for this movie. COVID testers and chef. There you go. Maybe I was thinking like I should be COVID tested because I'm so bloody ill. And oh dear, I'm the chef on Christmas Day. Oh, could have been that, thinking about it. Anyway, folks, have a wish I'll be killed, man. Please, in the meantime, in this ever poultry stuffed in between time, please keep it kilted, keep it festive, and I'm going to see you all. Hang on a minute. Hopefully, a little bit less coffee than next time. And please enjoy the rest of your Christmas day. I may be back later when I'm full of a belly full of beef and turkey, stuffing, roasty. Oh shit, gotta put the roasties on. Right, guys, gotta go.